Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Today I'm going to be taking a look at 5 low cap meme coins on Ethereum. I have created this new watch list on Deck Screener, and I think I'm going to be doing this maybe a few times a week where I will be adding 5 more coins. Probably, let's be honest, probably Ethereum coins, maybe a few Solana coins, but Ethereum based coins that are all. This is what I'll do. I'll say every coin that I talk about when I'm discussing this list, the coin has to be under $1 million in market cap, which you would say is low. For me, I think the micro ones are under 200K, maybe 150K, but either way, these coins are all at this point under 1 million in terms of market cap. You guys probably can't see the market cap because it's blocked out. It's just the way Deck Screener is when I have the webcam on. It's annoying, but we're going to be taking a look at this, and I guess we'll go with highest market cap to lowest market cap. So this first one, this is called Crypto Barn. This is based off of The Simpsons. Everybody knows The Simpsons and their predictions and how they predicted to some degree the Trump presidency, Trump winning, becoming a president. They predicted a number of other things. It's become like this meme, and they predicted the Crypto Barn back in, I think, the 90s. And so that's kind of the lore behind this, and this was launched just about 2 months ago. And so this coin, you can see it has wicked back up after retracing pretty significantly. It reached around 1.5, 1.6 million, went through a bit of a accumulation retracement around 2 to 300K. It wicked back up to around 1.3, 1.4 million, and it's back around 900K the last 24 hours, basically trading linear. The last 6 hours down 6%. I've seen a lot of people shill this coin. It is interesting because it's a unique meme. Not sure the exact narrative it would fit into. Probably not really a narrative, just an overall unique thing. When you look at the lore behind it, you can see it's a community-driven project inspired by a moment from The Simpsons, 1997. You can see it says Crypto Barn. And the whole idea is long before Bitcoin, long before Ethereum, they had predicted, just like with a number of other things, they predicted this Crypto Barn. And so that's what the coin name is, with the ticker Barn. And you also have their Twitter. I believe this is a very, very active community, around 900 followers right now. They do post, and it looks like maybe a little bit botted there. I don't know. They do post daily. They, I guess, have just been listed on CoinGecko. You always want to be listed on CoinGecko if you're a team, for sure. By the way, guys, just disclosure. 4 out of these 5 coins I'm not invested into, and this coin I'm not invested into, and I'll probably never buy it. I'm just saying these are all interesting coins that I'm looking at, and if you're interested in them, I want to highlight them because I just like going over smaller caps. So this is one that is interesting, and you're talking about around 900K. I would need a retracement. I would probably need a retracement back to 3 or 400K to get into something like this, considering it just had a run up. I mean, if you believe in the project, you believe in the idea of it, how unique it is, you could say, well, maybe this coin can do very well. Take a look at its Telegram, things like that. See how the raids are going. See how active it is. This was community. This has already been CTO'd, which is kind of surprising. Wait, it's been CTO'd twice? Didn't this coin just get launched? That's what it is with these projects. But again, this is a new CTO team, so it was CTO'd before, and then it's been CTO'd again. And it's only 2 months old, so we'll have to see how that ends up doing. The next one, if you look at market cap, we've got Pepe Cash. So there's some interesting lore behind Pepe Cash. You take a look at Pepe Cash. It says it was launched over 2 years ago. So this would be a coin that was launched in mid 2023. Remember the Pepe on Ethereum, the one that's at 5 billion. It was launched right around April of 2023. This gets launched in April of 2023. The OG Pepe coin gets moved to Ethereum in April of 2023. But this Pepe Cash is a little bit different. It's not trying to compete with Pepe. It's not trying to compete with Pepe Coin. It's an entirely different entity that originated back in 2016, 2017 as like a payment system, digital cards for Pepe, something of that nature. This coin is actually wicking up recently. It's up around 340K. It did retrace because I remember looking at this coin last week. It was around 198K. So it's done basically a 2x since then. I would wait for maybe a retracement if you want to get into this coin. I don't own this coin. I'm just saying the coin did wick up. Looks like it was created and then almost completely abandoned at around 3,000 market cap. It did wick up at around 1 million, but there's some interesting lore with this coin. We know the variants of Pepe tend to, I'm going to turn this sound all the way down. The variants of Pepe tend to do very well. There's so many coins that Pepe has been able to support within the ecosystem that seem to do really well. Before NFTs existed, Rare Pepe Wallet launched in 2016, 2017, letting users trade Pepe meme cards on the counterparty network. The currency behind it, Pepe Cash. So Pepe Cash is like an original OG currency behind Pepe within this wallet ecosystem that was launched in 2016. So it's interesting. It is interesting. There's a unique OG vibe to it, I guess, if you will. And if Pepe Coin goes to multi-billions, if what is that right now, 50, 60 million, it could potentially do very well. You could be looking at this coin doing very well as kind of a branch off of it because it's an OG type idea. And it's not like, oh, this is the original Pepe. It's a branch off of it. It's the Cash. So you have that Pepe Cash right there. The next one, we have Chinese Brett. So this is the Chinese variant of Brett. I did see this coin recently. Boy, imagine getting in right when it was around. See, this is the thing with these Chinese variants. I think this coin had to have been CTO'd recently. Yeah, June of 2025, it was CTO'd. So this is the second time it's been CTO'd. How old is this coin? Coin is just over a year old. You have the original Brett that is possibly going to do, I mean, you're talking about maybe multi-billions. So what about the Chinese variants? There's several different Chinese variants that are interesting. The Chinese variants, see, this is the thing that I hate when they have this. I don't want to be looking at this constant moving. And even with this logo, it's like moving. I don't like that. But, I mean, that's how these projects do it. They think it's better. And so this coin, when it got CTO'd, it had some real momentum. It went up to around 1.1 million. I would wait for it to fully retrace or maybe not fully retrace, but at least find a bottom. Seems like it's still falling, at least if you take a look at the past, you do a 4-hour, yeah, it's still falling. Wait for it to find some support wherever that, maybe it will find some support around 300K, but it's interesting. It's an interesting idea. You look at the Twitter, you make sure it's active around 500. See, this was a CTO, it's a brand new account, 565 followers. 1 million it reached. They did a screenshot when it reached that 3 hours ago. They don't have the active ticker. You'd like to see the active ticker so you can click on this. The Brett Woo. And so, yeah, it's just the Chinese variant of Brett. If you think Brett's going to do very well, it's an interesting one to look at that's very low in market cap. You think the Chinese variants are going to do well. I've been meaning to do a video specifically regarding the variants of these Chinese coins and just the Chinese meme coins in general and maybe an untapped market. In terms of that one, 24 hours, the last 24 hours, it's down around 13%. Again, it's around 330K in terms of market cap. Next, we've got Book of Bitcoin or Boob. So this coin has, how old is this coin? Overall, around a year and 2 months. The coin recently has picked up some steam. I do know there's a new team trying to really push this coin. Last 24 hours, a little bit of a sell-off, down 25%. But if you look at last month, it's gone up by like maybe 300%. Because I remember looking at it when it was around like 88 or 90K. So it's still at 270K, which is a decently high compared to where it's been, at least back in April. It was under 100K. If you're looking, I was looking for an entry on this coin, trying to find one. I haven't really found one to my liking. Maybe if it falls a little bit more. But I do know there is a new team that's behind this. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. Not financial advice, but the coin could end up doing very well. It would be a direct kind of variant of the Book of Ethereum. The problem is the Book of Ethereum has so much more lore than a coin like this. This is just kind of just a branch off of it. So I don't think this coin would do better than Book of Ethereum. Obviously, Book of Ethereum is at like 23 or 24 million, but buying Book of Ethereum right now, if you want to get like a 50x off of it, you're going to have to hope it goes to like 700 million, $1 billion. This one might be a little bit easier, 270K. I also understand people saying, well, Book of Ethereum versus Book of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more popular, so people would invest into that, but that's just really not how it works. It's there's so much involved in terms of meme coin success and things like that. This coin did wick up around 2.5 million. Then it got abandoned. I mean, you can tell it got abandoned because of where, the price history, the price action of it, but it seems like there's a new team behind it. And let's actually take a look at this and see, did they update this at all? No, the last time it looks like it got CTO'd it got CTO'd twice. Boy, all these coins are like CTO'd 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. October of 2014 was the last time it got CTO'd. And do they have access to the X account? The X account 490. There are a lot of people posting about this on X 10 days ago. So we're gonna need more action here from this actual account. We're gonna need the check mark as well. That's gonna have to be bought on this. You got to have the check mark. You got to have the check mark. But I'm telling you, this one we'll see. You don't want to say, well, get into it right now because you're talking about 92 to 270. There's it's a 2 or 3x, but it's still very low in terms of market cap if you wanted to gain an entry, not financial advice. And you could say, well, you've got the book of Binance. Isn't the book of Binance around 1 million? You have the book of Meme. You have the book of Ethereum. What about the book of Bitcoin? What about some of these other ones? Are there going to be maybe there's going to be an entire category book of coins? And so it's just something to pay attention to. This coin did have some staying power. It did get to around $2 million. You go back up to $2 million. That's a decent, it's a decent 7 or 8x, whatever it is. So interesting one to look at there. And then you do have Buckcoin, which is one that I had previously done an actual just separate video on because I thought it was a unique thing. I don't love the way they're marketing it, but the coin is right now sitting around 113K. When I talked about it, I think it was 98K. So the coin is basically done nothing. It actually did. Somebody sold off significantly. It's been bought up decently. So it's at 113K right now. And listen, I think Buckcoin is the ultimate meme to Bitcoin. Does it not make perfect sense? You've got the subreddit. I would like to see, I believe it's been CTO'd, right? I thought they said it was CTO'd. See, this is it's like weird communication from this team. They had said it was CTO'd in their Telegram, but you look at this coin. So they've got the check mark. The last time I don't think they had the check mark. Now they've got the check mark. I would get rid of this Ethereum thing. It's not needed. It's just not necessary. You can have the Ethereum in your username there, but I don't want it in the actual thing. And so they're playing it to the whole thing with, well, it's on Ethereum, the Vitalik, he mentioned it. It's like, all right, I guess. But the way I would market this would be differently. The way it would just be the official meme of Bitcoin. That's the way I would market this. They're trying to use like the whole, Vitalik mentioned Buckcoin years ago, and it's like, but I don't know if that really has a market, much of a market. I don't know. Maybe it does. We'll have to see. I mean, there's a lot of buys recently. I told people to wait for a retracement back to like 50K or whenever it was 30K. This is the thing with these coins. This coin was launched about a month ago. You could say, well, it's very risky because it was a month ago. But you look at this coin, it did wick to around 600K, around 400K. The problem with coins like this is, you find people like farming coins like this. So that could be an issue to where they'll buy low, then they'll sell high, then they'll buy again, then they'll sell here. These are people that really don't believe in the project. If you're selling at 5 or 600K, you obviously don't believe too much in it. And so that tends to be a bit of an issue with very low cap Ethereum coins. So you've got to watch out for something like that. By the way, when you look at the holders and you look at the 5%, this is Vitalik's account that got sent this. This is a debt account. So the top holder is at 3.4%. Which for a low cap coin is fine. I mean, preferably if it gets a lot higher in cap, you'd want to split that wallet up. I think the highest you want your wallets is probably like 2.5, 2.6 ideally, but on a low cap, it doesn't matter. As long as there's not a crazy holding, you do have that as well. So this is the other one to look at. So that's just the 5 coins. All of these coins are under 1 million in terms of market cap. A lot of these coins are over a year old, which is very old for meme coins, honestly. You've got the Buckcoin, which I think the Buckcoin is almost 2 months old. No, it just turned a month old. Okay, that was my bad. Pepe Cash is pretty old, and the Crypto Barn is relatively new. Book of Bitcoin is relatively old. The Chinese Bread is relatively old. But a lot of these, I mean, pretty much all these coins have been CTO. That's what happens with these meme coins, and it's just finding a narrative. And the narrative with this Crypto Barn, I really don't think there is a narrative. It's a very unique thing with The Simpsons. The Pepe Cash would be the Pepe narrative, kind of the OG narrative. This Chinese variant, Brett, you're talking about the Chinese derivatives of the official big coins like the Brett. And there's other Chinese variants as well. The Pepe off of Pepe. Book of Bitcoin would be a branch off of the Book of Ethereum. Buckcoin would just be a meme off of Bitcoin. And so that's just kind of the idea behind all of these. But obviously not financial advice, guys. Make sure you like the video down below. That's going to do it for this one.